Hey, Hillary Deaver here from Creator Space. Today for story time, we're going to talk about a different type of book. So I've been reading make-believe books, some of them with talking characters, talking animals. So those are called fiction. So the other type of book that you can read is nonfiction. Nonfiction is my favorite. If I had to pick a type of book, I love nonfiction. So nonfiction are true. There's facts in nonfiction. You can learn anything about any subject. Sometimes nonfiction are about real people. Biographies are written about people and their lives. So today we're going to look at a nonfiction book called Get Outside Guide. Hey, I don't know where you're from, but in Amarillo, Texas, the weather is getting warm. It's still springtime, but it feels like summer out there sometimes. So let's get outside. Let's look at this nonfiction book, and I'm just going to read parts of it to you. You'll see that I've found some of my favorite parts and marked them. So something cool about a nonfiction book is you don't have to read it from page 1, page 2, and then read it in order from the front to the back. Okay, so what I noticed when I first picked this book up are these colors that kind of separate the sections. At the beginning of each section, the first color here is blue. At the beginning of each section, there's a title and then an introductory paragraph about what's going to happen in the blue section. So all these pages have blue, and they're about water everywhere. Okay. The next color section is purple, and its title is Forest Around the World. Okay, in these sections, you'll notice that there's text boxes and pictures. One of my favorite things I found in the book while reading was that there is a craft that you can do. So this one talks about how to make a spider web. Okay, still in the purple section, so in the forest section. And then there's like a fun fact page. Okay, so this tells you about different types of leaves. Fun fact on the bottom says the average maple tree drops 600,000 leaves every fall. We don't have maple trees, I don't think, in Amarillo, but that's a lot of leaves that fall in the fall. I wonder if that's why they named the season that. You know, sometimes it's called autumn, but we call it fall for the most part. Maybe it's because leaves fall from their trees. The next section is red, and it is titled Backyards Around the World. This was fun. So I found lots of stuff that I wanted to read in this section because I find myself out in the backyard when it's warm. My son and I just hung up hammocks, so that's fun. So the first page I'm going to share with you from this section is Name That Backyard Animal. Okay. Some of these look familiar to you probably. All right, so the introductory paragraph says, sometimes animals leave signs that will let you know that they've been in your backyard, like droppings, that's poop, or teeth marks on garden plants that they've been eating. There's a chance that one of these animals has visited your yard. Can you identify them? So letter A, squirrel. It says, with teeth that never stop growing, these bushy-tailed mammals are often munching nuts in the backyard trees or dashing across the telephone lines. Their teeth never stop growing? Could you imagine? I wonder how long squirrels live. B, this guy here, says, with a white heart-shaped face, these nighttime flyers like to perch on old buildings when they aren't out hunting rodents. The owl. A possum. I know I have possums in my backyard. My dogs alert me that they're there. It says sometimes they're seen using their tail for balance. They're the only marsupials found in North America. Do you know what a marsupial is? A kangaroo is a marsupial. It's a mammal that keeps their babies in a pouch. So possums have babies in a pouch. Look Look at this guy. Ooh! You can identify this nocturnal creature without ever seeing it. Just follow your nose. I don't want to smell that. Skunks are nocturnal. You know what that means. We talked about nocturnal when we read the book about bats. They live at night. They are awake at night and sleep during the day. About as long as a baseball bat, these skinny reptiles aren't venomous, but they may still bite you if you pick them up. So this is a snake that's not venomous. They could be in our area. This guy right here. Have you seen these? Spending little time on the ground, these reptiles prefer trees or the backyard structures that bear their name. What's in the backyard that tells us the name of this lizard? If you know the answer, you should comment below. They don't spend time on the ground. They prefer the backyard structures that have the same name as them. And then they might not sing in real life, but their stripes and chubby cheeks are unmistakable. Those chubby cheeks and sings in cartoons. The chipmunks. Alvin, right? The chipmunks. We don't have chipmunks, I don't think, around Amarillo much. But if you go to Colorado or New Mexico on vacation, you can see chipmunks. A fun fact for the page, a skunk spray is actually an oily substance that is produced by glands under its large, bushy tail. When a skunk is ready to spray, it can shoot the stinky substance as far as 10 feet. You better get to running. Have you smelled a skunk? Oh, my son was in pre-K 3 or 4 years ago, and they had a skunk that lived under the portable building where his class was. We saw him every once in a while, like early in the morning, heading under that portable. And I assumed that was probably going to bed for the day, right? He said that the school district called a company to come and get him out from under the portable. Hopefully they took him out into the country and let him go, but they smelled skunk every once in a while. Their defense mechanism. You get too close, they're going to spray you. All right, so the craft in this backyard section is how to make a flower chain. Look at that dandelion. Do you see the yellow dandelion? It's actually a weed, so I don't think your parents will care if you take the flowers off of it. It says time to stop and pick the dandelions. Okay, you can string them together like a chain. So it tells you first you need flowers, plain and simple. Ask if they don't belong to you before you pick flowers. Okay, so what you do is you want to just get the stem of the flower, and it says use your fingernail to split or slit the stem of the flower. Okay, kind of up toward the top of the bloom. And then you're going to slide the next flower into the middle of that slit that you made on the stem. Okay, you could probably twist and turn it a little bit. And then that next one that you put in, you're going to slit its stem. Just use your fingernail and slit it up. I guess if they're kind of big stems, your mom might let you use some scissors. Slit it up and slide the next flower in, and you could make a chain, a flower chain. I think it'd be kind of fun to make a flower headband, right? So try it. Let us know. When you finish the chain, make a second slit in the first flower and slip the last flower through it so you can make a full circle. It says it's going to take about 20 minutes or more. That would be a fun activity. I'm sure you have dandelions. If not, go to your school park. Those weeds are growing out there for sure. All right, the next color, is blue, and it's Wonders of the City. So I went to the next color tab over here. Something that I wanted to read to you from this section was about the zoo. We have a zoo in Amarillo. And if you're not in Amarillo, I'm sure you have a zoo in your town, but it says at the zoo. Explore. I'm looking at these, of these little subtitles. Okay, so you could, even on this page, we don't have to read the whole page. I'm going to read the introductory to you, and then let's read the subtitle that says have fun. Okay. You may not encounter many wild animals while walking down a city sidewalk, but you can view and learn about them at your local zoo. Zoos are places where people can safely interact with animals that typically live in the wild. The first modern zoos appeared in the 1700s. Today, zookeepers and planners take special measures to make sure that animals are comfortable and safe. They recreate the animal's natural habitat and feed them the right foods. So if it's, let's say, a lion that would live in a jungle, they try and make their habitat or their fence that they live in at the zoo similar to the jungle, and then they feed them things that they would find in the wild. Okay, so in the have fun section, now that you've completed your tour of the zoo, it's time to put your knowledge to the test. It says you could design a zoo exhibit. First, pick an animal to research. Where does the animal live in the wild? Okay. What is its habitat like? Is the climate warm or damp or cold or dry? You'll also want to learn about the animal's shelter and who their predators are. And after you finish gathering all the information, grab some paper and some markers and begin designing a zoo exhibit for your animal. So that's a fun little research project. If you get bored this summer, research on the internet information about an animal of your choice. Figure out what it needs to live in if you took it out of its natural habitat, and design a zoo exhibit. That'll be fun. Include features that will help your animal feel like home, and be sure to not include animals that would harm it. Okay, so you don't want to put a prey and a predator in the same exhibit, right? Ooh. All right, and then in this same section, there's one of those fun fact pages. It says, name that insect. I bet you know all of those. There are 900,000 known insect species living on the planet, and scientists think there may be millions more that haven't been named. The butterfly. They migrate 3,000 miles. You know, migrate means to move to a different location. A lot of the time from Amarillo in the winter, birds and insects, butterflies migrate south because it's warmer as you get closer to the equator. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this uninvited guest to a picnic lives in a colony of up to 10,000 ants. Oh, we see those all the time. No wonder its jumping ability is part of its name. This insect can leap 20 times its body length. Oop, grasshopper. That's why hopper is part of its name. Oh, with a head that can swivel 180 degrees. You know, 360 is a full circle. So if I could rotate my head 360 degrees, I could turn it all the way around and look at you again. But a praying mantis can rotate its head 180. So that's half of a circle. So if a praying mantis is facing this way and you walk up behind it, it can just turn its head and have eyes that way. That's pretty cool. It's a predator, and it's quick to catch all. I wouldn't expect a praying mantis to be a predator, but look at those. They always have those big arms. So that makes sense. Cool. So that's the name that insect page. Fun fact, some plants are carnivores. Like the Venus flytrap, they eat insects. When the flytrap snaps its jagged trapdoor shut, its digestive enzymes, similar to the ones in our stomach, slowly consume the insect. If you've never seen a Venus flytrap, I forgot the name. If you've never seen a Venus flytrap, it's a plant. You can look it up on the internet. We can learn anything and see anything that we want when we do a little bit of research. But it's a carnivore, which means it eats meat, right? And then inside its trap, it has enzymes and acids and whatever that helps us break down our food, just right there in its trap, and absorbs the insect. A plant is a carnivore? Very cool facts. All right, so then the last section of this nonfiction book is green, and it says parks all around us. Okay, they're talking about maybe national parks. You know, we have a very cool one outside of Amarillo, Paladura Canyon. It's the second largest canyon in the United States. The Grand Canyon is bigger, but Paladura Canyon is a fun place to go. It's a state park. Let's see. There's Name That Clouds. Make a bird bath. Oh, that would be fun. Name That Outdoor Sport. You see how I'm just kind of thumbing through? That means do your thumb and just kind of thumb through a nonfiction book. And it helps us figure out what we want to read or what we're interested in, because it has these little section titles. And then look, it has little fun fact boxes. Make sidewalk chalk. You can choose any colors that you want. You can use paint, plaster of Paris, it's found at your local craft store, water, cardboard tubes, like toilet paper rolls, wax paper, tape, plastic sandwich bags, scissors, and an optional cupcake molds, but it says it's optional. Very cool. Let me know if you want those, how to make your own sidewalk chalk down in the comments, and I'll send it to you. Thanks for joining us today. I got excited about nonfiction books, but there is so much in here. And I think maybe I read like 4 pages. There's so much more. So this is not a book, not a fiction book that I guess you could, but you don't have to start right at the beginning and finish it to the end. Oh, I see all these cool things in the back. Do you know what's in the back of a nonfiction book? I'm sure you do. There is a glossary, which is a miniature dictionary. Okay, so if there's words in here in the book that maybe you don't know, you can look up the definition in the glossary. It says adaptation, atmosphere, barometer. Oh, they're in ABC order, just like the dictionary. And then if you're looking for a certain topic in the book, there's an index in the back. Okay, so if I wanted to look up volcanoes, let's see if volcanoes are in here. So I'm going to go to the V's. Volcanoes. It says it's on page 15 or 17 or 121 or 128. Let's see, 15. Thumbing through again. Volcanoes. Well, it's on this water everywhere page. I would kind of have to look through and read a little bit longer, but it's talking about a river and a lake and a glacier and the Everglades. May mention a volcano in there. What does it say? Page 121. So we could go read more about a volcano. It's on this national parks page. It says look it up. Oh, there's an active volcano in Japan, and it's the highest mountain in Japan, Mount Fuji. Fuji. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's so large that on a clear day, you can see it from the capital, Tokyo, which is 60 miles away. So if you've ever been to Japan or plan on going to Japan, you can see an active volcano. In warm months, the grounds are covered in stunning rainbows of flowers. That makes me wonder if lava is kind of a fertilizer, because if it's active and it's exploded before or erupted, maybe lava that is down on the ground makes beautiful flowers when it's summertime. You see how when I'm reading, something comes up and my mind's always going, oh, I know something about volcanoes. Lava comes out. Oh, I wonder if it's fertilizer because there's flowers that are planted. Learning and reading is so much fun. Nonfiction, it's my favorite. Let me know if you enjoyed these nonfiction days or if you want me to go back to fiction days. But let's get outside. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye bye.